New Canada Immigration Levels Plan consultations are now open. Canada has officially launched public consultations on its new Immigration Levels Plan, inviting feedback from citizens, stakeholders, and experts to help shape future immigration targets. This video will guide how many immigrants Canada admits annually across various categories. If you are interested in this topic, please pay attention and watch the video through to the end to get all the information. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. So, without any further delay, let's jump into the video. As Canada embarks on its annual consultations for the 2026 to 2028 Immigration Levels Plan, the nation stands at a pivotal moment. Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada is calling on stakeholders, communities, and citizens to share their voices in shaping a sustainable, inclusive, and economically vibrant immigration system. From July 21 to August 17, 2025, these consultations will guide Canada's approach to welcoming newcomers, balancing economic growth, humanitarian commitments, and cultural diversity. Following this, the new Immigration Minister, Lina Meltage Diab, will unveil the next Immigration Levels Plan 2026 to 2028 in November 2025, setting the target for the number of new permanent and temporary residents admitted to Canada in a given year. With ambitious targets to reduce the temporary residents in Canada, this year's plan promises to redefine the country's global identity. Here's everything you need to know about the 2025 consultations and how you can participate to shape the Canadian future. Key goals of the new Immigration Levels Plan 2026 to 2028 consultations. The 2025 consultations are guided by three core commitments. Reducing non-permanent residents. The government aims to lower the non-permanent resident population to less than 5% of the Canadian total population by 2027, addressing concerns about housing and infrastructure strain. Stabilizing permanent resident admissions. Beyond 2027, Canada plans to cap permanent resident admissions at less than 1% of the population annually, ensuring sustainable growth. Boosting Francophone immigration. A target of 12% Francophone immigration outside Quebec by 2029 aims to strengthen the vitality of Francophone minority communities. These goals reflect a whole-of-government, whole-of-society approach, inviting input from businesses, community leaders, educators, and everyday Canadians. Whether you're a stakeholder in rural Manitoba or a business owner in Toronto, your perspective could shape the Canadian immigration future. What's on the table? Key questions for Canadians. The IRCC's consultation process is designed to gather diverse opinions on critical issues. Through surveys, roundtables, and virtual events, Canadians are being asked to weigh in on everything from economic priorities to humanitarian commitments. Below are the key areas of focus and questions posed in the 2025 consultations. Prioritizing immigration goals. One of the central questions is, what are the most important areas of focus for Canada's immigration system? Respondents are asked to rank the following priorities. Addressing economic and labor force needs by attracting skilled workers. Reuniting families through family class immigration. Supporting humanitarian commitments, such as resettling refugees. Increasing the Canadian population to sustain growth. Strengthening communities in all regions, including rural areas. Contributing to the Canadian diversity. Supporting the development of Francophone minority communities. These priorities reflect the multifaceted role immigration plays in Canada. For instance, economic immigration drives innovation in sectors like technology and healthcare, while family reunification strengthens social bonds. Humanitarian programs, meanwhile, uphold the country's global reputation as a safe haven for those fleeing persecution. Temporary residents, striking the right balance. Temporary residents, including international students and workers, have become a focal point in the 2025 consultations. The current Immigration Levels Plan sets a target of 516,600 temporary resident arrivals in 2026, broken down as follows. Workers, 210,700. Students, 305,900. The IRCC is asking Canadians whether these numbers are too high, too low, or about right. For 2027, the plan proposes a slight increase to 543,600 temporary residents. Respondents are also asked whether levels should increase, stabilize, or decrease beyond 2027, and which category workers or students should be prioritized for growth or reduction. This focus on temporary residents stems from concerns about their impact on housing, healthcare, and public infrastructure. For example, the influx of international students has strained rental markets in cities like Vancouver and Toronto, prompting calls for tighter controls. Conversely, industries like agriculture and construction rely heavily on temporary foreign workers to fill labor gaps. Balancing these competing needs is a key challenge for the 2026 to 2028 plan. Permanent residents, sustainable growth. For permanent residents, the 2025 to 2027 immigration levels plan sets a target of 380,000 new arrivals in 2026, representing less than 1% of the Canadian population. This includes economic classes, e.g., skilled workers, business immigrants 229,750. Family classes, e.g., spouses, children, parents 88,000. Refugees and humanitarian, e.g., resettled refugees, asylum seekers 62,250. For 2027, the target drops slightly to 365,000. Canadians are being asked whether these numbers are appropriate and whether future levels should increase, stabilize, or decrease. If increases are favorable, which immigration class should be prioritized? If reductions are preferred, where should cuts be made? These questions are critical as Canada navigates economic recovery and demographic challenges. Economic immigrants, for instance, are vital for addressing labor shortages in sectors like healthcare, where Canada faces a projected shortfall of 44,000 nurses by 2030. Family reunification, meanwhile, supports social cohesion, while humanitarian programs align with the Canadian moral obligations. Supporting Francophone communities. A standout feature of the 2025 consultations is the emphasis on Francophone immigration outside Quebec. The government has set an ambitious target of 12% Francophone immigration by 2029 to bolster the vitality of Francophone minority communities in places like New Brunswick, Ontario, and Manitoba. Respondents are asked to prioritize initiatives such as better selection of French-speaking and bilingual immigrants, facilitating transitions from temporary to permanent residence for French-speaking workers and students, connecting Francophone newcomers with job opportunities in minority communities, enhancing settlement services tailored to French-speaking immigrants, expanding promotion efforts to attract Francophone immigrants. This focus reflects Canada's commitment to linguistic diversity and cultural preservation, ensuring that Francophone communities thrive in an increasingly globalized world. Addressing systemic barriers. The IRCC is also tackling systemic racism, sexism, ableism, and other barriers within the immigration system. Respondents are invited to suggest ways to improve equitable access to opportunities for newcomers, such as streamlining credential recognition for foreign-trained professionals or enhancing anti-discrimination policies. This commitment aligns with broader societal efforts to foster diversity, equity, and inclusion, making Canada's immigration system a model for fairness. Supporting communities and infrastructure. Immigration doesn't happen in a vacuum, it impacts housing, healthcare, education, and public infrastructure. The consultations ask Canadians to prioritize investments in areas like housing to accommodate growing populations, healthcare services to support newcomers and existing residents, public transportation to improve mobility, schools and post-secondary education to prepare newcomers for success, early learning and childcare to support working families. Additionally, respondents are asked which services would best support newcomers, such as language training, employment support, or clear information about government programs. These questions underscore the need for a holistic approach to immigration that considers both newcomers and the communities hosting them. Who can participate in the new Canada Immigration Level Plan consultations? Anyone can participate in Canada's 2025 immigration consultations, including Canadian citizens and residents, stakeholders, e.g., businesses, community organizations, educational institutions, immigration advocates and service providers, Francophone minority communities, Indigenous groups, non-profit organizations and humanitarian groups. The IRCC encourages input through online surveys and written submissions, open from July 21 to August 17, 2025. How to participate in Canada's Immigration Levels Plan consultations. The IRCC is making it easy for Canadians to participate in the 2025 consultations, which run until August 17, 2025. Here's how you can share your voice. Complete the online survey, available on the IRCC website. The survey asks for your input on temporary and permanent resident targets, Francophone immigration, and community support. Join virtual or in-person events, roundtables, town halls, and hybrid events offer opportunities to discuss immigration with policymakers and stakeholders. Submit written feedback. If surveys aren't your style, you can send written submissions to the IRCC directly. The IRCC is also seeking feedback on the consultation process itself, asking what worked, what didn't, and how future engagements can be improved. Whether you're an individual, a business owner, or part of a community organization, your input could shape Canada's immigration future. Challenges and controversies. While the consultations aim to build consensus, immigration remains a polarizing topic. Some Canadians argue that high immigration levels exacerbate housing shortages and strain public services. In 2024, protests in cities like Vancouver and Montreal highlighted concerns about affordability. Others advocate for higher immigration to address labor shortages and an aging population, pointing to studies showing that immigrants contribute significantly to economic growth. The target to reduce non-permanent residents to 5% by 2027 has sparked debate. Critics argue that international students and temporary workers are unfairly targeted, while supporters say the reduction is necessary to ease pressure on urban centers. Similarly, the focus on Francophone immigration has raised questions about whether other linguistic or cultural groups are being overlooked. Looking ahead, the future of Canadian immigration. As Canada prepares for the 2026 to 2028 Immigration Levels Plan, the 2025 consultations represent a critical moment to align policy with public priorities. The outcomes will influence everything from economic growth to cultural diversity, from rural revitalization to urban sustainability. By reducing non-permanent residents, stabilizing permanent admissions, and prioritizing Francophone communities, Canada aims to build a balanced, inclusive immigration system that benefits all. But the success of this plan depends on you. Will Canada prioritize economic immigrants to fuel innovation? Will it expand humanitarian programs to help those in need? Or will it focus on strengthening communities through better housing and services? The answers lie in the voices of Canadians who participate in these consultations. What is Canada's current immigration plan? Canada's 2025 to 2027 Immigration Levels Plan targets 380,000 permanent residents in 2026, 229,750 economic, 88,000 family, and 62,250 refugees, and 516,600 temporary residents, 210,700 workers and 305,900 students. It aims to reduce non-permanent residents to under 5% of the population by 2027 and stabilize permanent resident admissions at less than 1% annually beyond 2027. Is Canada still accepting immigrants in 2025? Yes, Canada is accepting immigrants in 2025, with plans to welcome 380,000 permanent residents and 516,600 temporary residents in 2026, supporting economic, family, and humanitarian goals. Is Canada cutting down on immigration? Canada is moderating immigration by reducing non-permanent residents to under 5% of the population by 2027 and stabilizing permanent resident admissions at 365,000 in 2027, down from 380,000 in 2026, to balance growth and infrastructure demands. Why is Canada letting in so many immigrants? Canada welcomes immigrants to address labor shortages, boost economic growth, contributing $80 billion annually to GDP, support an aging population, reunite families, uphold humanitarian commitments, and enhance cultural diversity, including a 12% Francophone immigration target by 2029. This video marks an important step in shaping the future of Canada's immigration system. Public input will help ensure the Immigration Levels Plan aligns with the country's economic needs, humanitarian commitments, and demographic realities. That is all for today, in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later, in the next video. Till then, take care.